ここでええのかな。お、誰かおる。おお、これがモラグセティウス。ちょっと見に行ってみようか。おお、結構美人さんかな。絶対モラグバルやろうな。ていうかその服いいね。でこっちが山賊王か。おお。
With its sights set on reclaiming this land for the Elven nations. An empire left decadent and abandoned by its predecessor. In this very room, upon this very floor, lay the crowns of this once great seat of civilization. And by legal
誰や、あくびしたやつ。
It was the people of this great city that placed them upon our heads. And we flourished. We became great again. We prospered and thrived. The old was replaced with the new. A new dawn, a new era, and with it, the creation of a new imperial army to protect and serve the 6 counties of Cyrodiil and the imperial territories. Provinces and colonies once weak, annexed and lost, were once again reclaimed, and the world trembled and knew its place. History is to be made this day, this very moment, as the county of Bruma returns to the fold. And we shall stand united as we become once again the 7 counties of Cyrodiil, to show the world our strength, our unity, and our fortitude in our wholeness. And they shall come to know of our intention to strengthen our resolve. And they shall come to know of our intention to be a global force to be reckoned with. And they shall come to know of our intention to expand our empire, as is our divine right. United under the name of the most powerful dynasty in all of Tamriel.
Yeah! あ、聞こえへん。もうちょっと前に。ああ、聞こえた聞こえた。誰や咳してんのは。
including full access to trade, a personal Imperial Legion loyal only to you, and a place at the seat of representatives here in the Imperial Chamber. By signing the decree, you forfeit your status of a free city, and by doing so revoke the corrupt, weak, and unelected international laws, and legitimize your Emperor's claim to the titles of the Mede dynasty. Do you wish to say anything before you sign?
Only that I would like to thank the Emperor for this opportunity, and thank all the noble houses for their openness and kindness since I arrived, and that you all can be assured of the House of Bruma's loyalty and support.
Lord Chancellor, please proceed.
Approach the table and sign, my lady. The houses of Cyrodiil are united. Long live the Emperor.
ちょっとここ邪魔っぽいな。
Could I please have everyone's attention? I have an important announcement to make.
おお、ロベールが、
As
あ、
many
そう
of you
か。
might know, Countess Rigmor
プロポー
and
ズ
I
するんやっ
were
け。
acquainted this past year, and I cannot think of any better occasion to tell her of my undying love for her, and to humbly ask her something that's been a long time overdue.
チラッとこっち見たな、リグモールが。
Rigmor, it would be my greatest honor if you would become my wife.
Oh, the gods, Bobby.
Will you marry me?
Yes, yes, of course.
お、出てった。ちょっと気になる。
Bravo,
あ、な
bravo.
になになに。
And might I say, very impressive.
ブラックウェルと話す。失礼、一体何のことやら。
Oh, I think you do. Morag Cetheus sucker punched by a master stroke of genius? Guardian and protector of Countess Rigmor of Bruma. Indeed, a title you should be very proud of.
それは当然よ、大法官。保証する。
Meet me in the temple gardens tomorrow morning before the
おっと、なん
coronation.
や。
There are some things I would
何を
like to
聞かれ
discuss.
るんやろ。ん？あれ？次は？おや？
何か用？
なんやろうな。違うか。これまたあれかな？不具合かな？どうやらまた進行不具合みたいなんで、コンソール叩きましょう。ポチ。はい、進んだ。まあ多分、あ、何してんねん。ストーリー上、繋がってると思うんで問題ないと思うんですけど。
Congratulations are in order.
ファイヤールームだったような気するけど、まあいいか。
To the happy couple, to my Bobby, Sir Robert and Rigmor.
おめでとう、セルロベール。
Thank you, Guardian. If you have a moment.
お？なんやろ。この女は俺のもんだぜ、へっへーみたいな、そんな話ではないんやろな。ロベールいいやつっぽいしな。
I found out what's been going on. Last night I discovered a ventilation shaft behind the wall. The shafts are connected. Every room has them. And each one has an access panel
隠し
behind
通
the
路がある
banners.
んか。
When Father was asleep, I inched my way in and managed to maneuver myself within earshot of Coral's room. Morag Cetheus was there, discussing the fate of Bruma.
続けてセルロベール。
For whatever reason, she wants to even the balance of power. My father commands the largest army in Cyrodiil, and has Anvil in his pocket. Anvil has access to Quintus Vitalis and his army. You know of him?
いたっけ？ホワイトランの戦いで共にニューオーダーと戦った仲よ。
Well,
い
the plan
たっ
was to
け？
set Rigmor up
ちょっと
for a
覚えて
fall
ないな。
after she signed the decree. Mercenaries were to be paid to raid the counties of Coral and Shadenhall, and the blame was to be put on Bruma for not taking prompt and
ロベール優
appropriate
秀や
action
な。
to stop it.
その後は？
They were then to call a meeting at the seat of representatives in the Imperial Chamber, and call for a vote of no
やっぱ
confidence
り
in the House
ブ
of
ルー
Bruma,
マーを
which
はめ
would then
る
be dissolved.
つもりやったんやな。薄汚い卑怯なやり方ね。
Coral and Shadenhall were to march into Bruma County, take control, and divide it up between them. Shadenhall was to get the iron ore deposits and the mines. Coral was to get control of the city, and with it the title of Duke of the counties of Coral and Bruma. He would demand 1,000 men, and together they would reset the balance of power in Cyrodiil. Rigmor's family are considered commoners, With Morag's persuasion, the Emperor would turn a blind eye just to appease the nobility.
だから平手打ちを食らったみたいに飛び出していったと。あ、さっきの皇帝とモラグはそういう感じで出てたのかな。
Exactly. But I don't think the Emperor knows about the plot. Once the coronation is over, I intend to inform my father of Morag Sethius and her possible motives. He'll know what to do.
モラグセティウスについて教えてくれない？
She's always been there. Many years ago, we were based in the Colovian Highlands. My father was the local bandit chieftain, and Sethius arrived with 200 men. They had parley, and we were to join them. Morag was already with Sethius. He never went anywhere without her. Over the coming years, Sethius banded together all the bandit chiefs in the border regions. We became unstoppable. Even before Titus Mede II mysteriously disappeared. On very rare occasions, Morag would disappear. No one knew where, but she always came back looking younger than she left. Something she is maintaining to do to
毎
this
回
day.
若くなってきたら明らかに怪しいだろ。
But Sethius didn't want to usurp the imperial throne. Neither did
モ
my
ラグバル
father.
さん、それは
But
ちょっとどう
Morag
なん？
Sethius insisted.
モラグは玉座の裏で実権を握っているわけね。あなたや私ならそんなことはしなかったでしょう。強くて支配的で人を操るのがうまい女は大好きよ。これにしてみようか。
She has some sort of power over him, Guardian. You would think with what she has already, she'd be happy with that. But she seems to thrive on causing dissent, scheming,
おー、なん
and
か
sowing seeds
ダ
of
ッキーみたい
discord.
なポジションやな。こちらから災いを招いてしまったというもの。それが彼女のゲームの先に待つもの。この手の駆け引きなど彼女にはお手のものよ。支配的で巧みに人を操るだけでなく厳しくて高慢。極上の女ね。これにしよう。
Anyway, none of that matters now. Bruma will have the
どうでもいいっ
support
て
of
言わ
not
れ
only
た。
the House of Leowen, but Anvil, Skingrod, and Breville, plus Quintus' Western Army. So my work is done here, and I have you to thank for it. But I would love to be a fly on the wall later.
ロベールいい
Catch
や
my
つやな、
drift.
ほんま。
But
普通にいいや
beware
つや
of
ったんやな。
Blackwell. He's taken a keen interest in you since you arrived.
ありがとう、セル・ロベール。
Please, call me Bobby. I bid you good night.
おお、
Take
これ
good
か
care
ら
of
ボビーと
Rigmor
呼
for
ぼう
me.
か。なんでボ
After
ビー
the
なんかよくわ
coronation
からんけ
tomorrow,
ど。
we can plan our wedding and set things in motion.
おー、ボビーいいやつじゃん。ちょっと応援してあげたくなる。しまった違う。やっぱり。いや、なんとなくそんな気がしてたんやけど。ごめんなさい。お嬢様、明日は長い一日になります。そろそろお休みになられては。
Of course, Guardian. Thank you all for your support, and I bid you all good night.
じゃあ戻りましょう。ねえ、さっきは頑張ったわね。大丈夫？
I feel sick to my stomach, if you must know.
声を潜めて文字通り壁に耳あり。
What did Bobby want?
彼が言うにはコロールとシェイディンハルはモラグバルじゃない。モラグの手を借りてブルーマを山分けしようとしている。
But why?
貴族間の力の均衡を取るため、実に理にかなっている。
Is that what all this is about? This is the reason why we're here? And not what we thought?
わからないけどあまりにも都合が良すぎる。手玉に取られているみたい。
Well, it seemed pretty real to me. Morag's storming off, and I noticed Coral and Shadenhall left pretty quickly too. We are in the heart of the Imperial Palace, Dragonborn. These people don't do play acting to such a huge scale. There's gotta be something in what Bobby said. It's like they pick up on things, anything, and use it to mess with your head.
状況について話し合う。 ボビーの計画によって覆されたせいだと思ったけど、ブラックウェルの話と辻褄が合わないか。
What did he say?
彼の態度に興味をそそられる。何か理由があると思えてならない。
Unless he knows, right? He knows about me, and they were going to make a move after the signing. So maybe he's assumed you put Bobby up to the proposal. There's no love lost for the Lord Chancellor, Dragonborn. He might not even know about the plot between Morag, Coral, and Shadinall.
それだけなのか他にもあるのか可能性を考えてみよう。
If what Bobby says is true, why would Morag want to balance the power? The only thing I can think of is that she might fear Leowyn. After all, he has the strongest force, right?
利口な子ね。
What? I didn't do anything.
あなたとの結婚でボビーはブルーマ伯爵となり、レイアウィンは全ての切り札を持つことになる。
Of course. He has the support of Anvil, Breville, Skingrad, and Quintus army in the west. By the
あるよ
gods,
な。
Bobby doesn't
あるあ
want
る。
me. He wants Bruma. If I marry him, he becomes count by
かな
default.
り兄弟になるもんな。続けて、答えはもうすぐよ。
What? Okay, so Morag stormed out not because of any plot she had with Coral and Shadinhall was subverted, but because the balance of power has just become weighed in favor of the Count of Leowyn, and he wants the imperial crown for himself?
私たちがレイアウィン教の計画の一部だとすると、ブラックウェルの話もうなずける。
You know what? All this bullshit makes me want to go knocking on the Emperor's door and saying to him, "Hey, asshole, I've got a real royal bloodline that goes back to the first Mede dynasty, so go bite me."
やっちまいますか？
You know, it's like a kind of violence. What they say and do, how they can instill fear into someone with just words. Makes you feel sick to the stomach with fear and worry.
じゃあ私たちは陰謀に組み込まれたのね。誰を信じ、誰を信頼すべきなのか。
Like rats caught in a trap.
確かめる方法がある。あの旗に気づいた？
What about it?
なんか隠し通路があるんだっけ。風はすべての部屋をつなぐ換気管のもの。ボビーから聞いた。
You're not seriously thinking about crawling around in that thing eavesdropping, are you?
当然、今や失うものなどないし、ボビーの話が全部真実だと証明できる。
What about me?
シーツの下に枕を詰めて誰が来たら私は寝ていると伝えて。
Dragonborn!
長くはかからない。もっとおしとやかな服に着替えたらどう？
Hey, I would love that.
じゃあね、もし部屋に誰か入ってきたら重たいものを掴んで殴るのよ。
Oh, har har. You really are something. You know that?
これか。おー。クロール教
You're
の
going to have to tread
Oh.
carefully.
Whatever.
Who
どこ
knows?
どこ？
With the Leowyn boy marrying that common strumpet, the real nobility in this land could be squeezed out completely. I don't trust any of them. Least
中
of
が
all
見えるわけじゃないの
Morag
か。
Cephalus.
We shall have to wait and see, my dear. After all, now the Count of Anvil's daughter has agreed to marry our son. Leowyn's influence will diminish and ours will grow.
ここか。
Also, with Anvil's family ties to Skingrad,
見えた
the
見えた。
west will become much more secure. Quintus's army sits on the border of Hammerfell as we speak and comes under Anvil's jurisdiction.
What of Chadenhall and all this?
The Count of Chadenhall doesn't like what's happening one little bit. He cannot imagine why Bruma would relent and sign the decree unless there's something more sinister going on. It's madness to sign. Bruma was perfectly within its right to remain a free city under Imperial law.
Why would the Countess change her mind now? All she had to do is buff Cephalus all. I would have sent Blackwell packing with an arrow up his arse. and reached out to us in Cheydinhal.
She could have reached out to all the provinces. Sethus would not have dared touch her. It makes you wonder of the reasons the Leyawiin boy took such an interest in her. To think we almost had it in the bag.
ほう。こっちかな?
Well, 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 my boy. I would never have thought you would have made such a proposal in front of everyone.
Father, when are you going to come to terms with the fact that I love Rigmor? Why is it such an issue?
I had hoped you would marry into nobility, and I don't want to disrespect your Rigmor. She's a great girl. But she's hard work, Bobby. You even said it yourself. She has constant mood swings. She's argumentative. She has baggage, boy.
ちょっと嫁さんにするにはどうやろうか。
Embarrassment. Look, she's not even a native of Cyrodiil.
That's where you're wrong, and I won't hear of it. She was born in Cyrodiil to respected parents.
You're just a young fool blinded by love. She's a Nordling, a barbarian. Just because a dog is born in
犬
a
が馬屋で生
stable,
ま
it
れた
doesn't
ところ
make
で
it a
馬にはなら
horse.
ん。いい
And
ね。
your Rigmor is no thoroughbred. By marrying into imperial nobility, that would make something of you one day, my boy. It would command respect and give you an army to conquer new regions, territories, even provinces. Instead of counting icicles on that mountain with her guardian breathing down your neck, the county is worthless and full of Nords. Love doesn't create empires, boy. Those are made by blood and guts on your sword. Even though your intentions are sincere with this Rigmor, and marrying this girl might indeed help our cause to strengthen our position here in the province, slightly, you still have a lot to learn.
Lady Rigmor is going to be my wife, and I will hear no more of it.
ほう。はしごを使って王族特別室に聞き耳を立てる。これ?
Ah, Blackwell. Enter.
お、
My lord, you summoned me.
ここか。
You had better have something good for me, Blackwell. Who is she and what is she doing here? More to the point, how did she manage to surface out of thin air and become such a problem?
Is my lady present? I'm sure she would like to hear.
She will be back shortly. She needed to visit her
親父。
father. Please continue.
親父がいるん。
Little is known from the time she met the Countess. Apart from the New Order incursion into Skyrim, very little is noted or recorded in manuscript. A breakaway sect, native to Alinor, that tried to overthrow the Isle and invade Cyrodiil.
What did the New Order want with her?
She disappeared for years until she resurfaced at the Battle of Whiterun. She was linked to a Khajiit emissary who frequented the Imperial Court and had the ear of the Council of Elders. It was all kept very quiet, a matter for the Council and heads of state. I was not privy to these proceedings, and instead I was asked to take care of the affairs of the province, a job I continued to do after the disappearance of the Emperor until...
Please go on, Lord Chancellor.
After the New Order were crushed, the Thalmor made good their time in Cyrodiil, erasing all evidence. After the events, Titus Mede II bestowed upon the girl the noble title of Bruma County. As for her and her guardian, the two parted ways, and shortly after the Emperor disappeared. That's all we know. After the Thalmor were expelled when the nobility signed the recent White Gold Agreement, my attempts to recover any information led nowhere. The trail went cold.
I don't like it, Blackwell. She was only meant to sign the document. Do you think she's complicit in a possible plot with Leyawiin?
The balance of power here in Cyrodiil is constantly changing. At first it was prudent to have friends loyal to you, such as Leyawiin, to hold the upper hand among the counties. Your position relies on fealty, and although there is no evidence of subterfuge, there is a rivalry between them, and it has now become so very obvious. The announcement of the marriage between Bruma and Leowyn has only added to the suspicions of their rivals.
I can understand that, but the Countess of Bruma... Why would an emperor bestow such a noble title on a wretched Nord girl? Why would he do that? What is so special about her?
うわまたやんもうやめろっちゅうねんその演出
I'll tell
よ
you why she is so special. So special to have at her side the most dangerous killer in all of Tamriel. Of course, it is now all so obvious. It all fits in. The ripples in the fabric of the void. How she hid her truths. She has been hiding it for years, afraid for her very life. Cursed by her blood from the day she was born. A product of a liaison that produced a royal bastard. Her veins coursing with the royal blood of the dynasty we usurped. And her guardian, a half-beast dragon slayer, champion of Boethia and defeater of Alduin. She is a pretender by default. And I want her. And I want them both, Lord Chancellor.
We would need evidence before we could touch her. A confession, or someone to testify.
I'll make the girl confess, even if I have to do it myself. And as for her guardian... Aren't you meant to be protecting your beloved Rigmor, Dragonborn?
バレてますこれここのバレてるよな戻っていいのかな戻るよいやーもうしかしあの演出やめてくんねえかなもう
Halt! I implore you to hold your weapons, or the Lady Rigmor will be summarily executed. The Countess of Bruma is charged with treason, and will stand trial at the nearest opportunity. She will be taken to the Imperial City Prison to await the arrival of her attorney. No harm will befall her, as long as you comply with the law. You are to remain here under house arrest for the time being until further notice.
It's okay, Dragonborn. I'm kinda glad it ends this way. I feel kinda relieved, in a way. Have Malazam take care of my things for me. And whatever happens at the trial, don't screw it up, okay? I might not get another chance to speak to you in person again, even during the trial, and I know we talked about all this before, but if I don't make it, please don't blame yourself. I just want you to know that you're the best thing that ever happened in my life, and that I love you with all my heart. Goodbye, Dragonborn.
動けないなあ消えたまたかあいや違うかいやまたかこれはまたなのかあいや違うな
You made a very serious misjudgment coming here. I know it's no consolation, but no one knew about her ties to the Mede dynasty. It was a complete surprise. Suffice to say, she kept her secret well. Please, sit.
どこに座るのよ。あ、ここ。ブラックウェル、何が望みなの？
Actually, I came to ask the same thing. Why would the Countess come down from the mountain and pledge her support? She was protected under international law. However much the Emperor demanded it, she was well within her rights to ignore his demands.
彼女には確信がなく、彼女の保証人として私が派遣された。
Unless... yes. She thought we knew, didn't she? Of course. And I bet you prepared for this very situation in advance. But pray tell me, what of the Leowin boy? Where does he fit into all of this? Was she involved in a plot?
いいえ、彼女はただ署名して家に戻りたかっただけ。
I believe you. I must admit, though you had me fooled, I thought this was all about the struggle for power between the noble houses, and the joining of the houses of Bruma and Leowin was part of the plan. But it wasn't, was it? Sir Robert's proposal, for whatever reason, was seen as a way out. The Countess was prepared to make that sacrifice to live in peace. I can understand why she made that decision. With what she knew about herself, she must have felt very scared, even desperate.
それで彼女は苦労したし、体調を崩す原因にもなった。
The trial will take place tomorrow. I've already sent word to her court advisor. He will arrive in the morning. They will need evidence to find a verdict, or they will have to let her go. She will be interrogated and offered a chance to confess in return for her freedom. But she will have to give up her titles and leave the province. I do hope she has some resolve, as confessing won't help her, not now. Whether she be acquitted, banished, or exiled, they will hunt her down, and they will be relentless.
ブラックウェル、なぜそれを教えるの？
I have my reasons for telling you this. You see, I'm rather fond of the Countess. But my loyalty is to the seat of the Imperial throne, not who occupies it. You must know that I will pursue the bidding of the Emperor,
こいつはこいつで
no matter my personal
ちょっ
opinion
と
or thoughts to the letter
面
of
白
the
いな。
law.
ただの
And
悪いやつ
execute
じゃないん
any
や。
orders I see fit to protect and serve with absolute unwavering ruthlessness. It isn't personal, but it's vitally important we understand each other.
何が言いたい？
Good. I'm glad you understand, because if you listened carefully, if you paid attention...
いや、まだよくわかってない。
Dragonborn. I'm also here to escort you to the Imperial Chamber. Lady Cetheus requires an audience. You will be able to talk freely to her, with
次は
impunity.
皇帝に会うのかな？
Please, come this way.
それでは今回この辺りで終わろうと思います。ちょっと尺長くなってるかなと思うんですけどね。それではまた。